What's up, guys? We're back with another History Below the Pines video, and today we're taking you somewhere pretty dang cool. We're gonna go to an 1800s abandoned privately owned brothel right here in historic Deadwood. That's right, we have something that you've never seen before. So this is an episode you are not going to want to miss. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't miss another video of ours. Let's get after it.
Hey guys, it's Doug Sermley. We're above 616 Main Street, Deadwood, in historic Deadwood downtown. We're going to show you what our brothel looked like. It was closed in 81, so nothing's been done since then. Some of the stuff you'll see is prior to 81, obviously, once you see the era of what's going on. So we're going to come on in, I'm going to show you some stuff. So this is where the doorman would be. These are some of the buzzers that he would use to let the customers come in. And if everybody knows that the brothels were all closed down by the FBI and raided many times since, late 1800s. But obviously you can see they had such concerns that they even ran 2x4s across the door so the police couldn't get in. I'm not sure at what point they decided to do it, with customers in, with customers out, we don't know. But it's crazy to think that they had to put 2x4s, double 2x4s, steel plates, to keep the police out from raiding them, either for prostitution or mostly it was illegal liquor sales. They didn't have an on sale liquor license, so they would get arrested for that. So we're gonna walk down this hallway. As you can see, we got the old wide plank floors. Paneling is like everybody else's house back in the day, just covers up a multitude of sins. We're hoping to take this down and see what's actually underneath here for either wallpaper or whatever. And you can see when you come around the corner, lots of little rooms. I'm not sure what girl, if you want to use the terminology, would be lucky enough to have a room like this with a view. So come on over, I'll show you the view. The dirt underneath this building is the original location of the Bella Union Theater. If you watched the Deadwood series, Al Swearingen, we're going to show you right now. His building would have been right where Todd, the Lucky Horseshoe, would be. So can you imagine 1876 standing here as a madam, as the girl, as a customer, looking across the street, watching Al Swearingen at the gem, throwing people out, the bar fights, the noises, the screaming, the yelling, the horses, the mud. They said Deadwood had the worst mud known to man. It stuck to everything. Your axles and the carriages would sink to the center axle, to the halfway through the tire. I couldn't imagine that. But standing here, and the building hasn't moved, but they raised the whole street up after the floods and the fires to put sewer system in. But just imagine looking out this window, 1876. Our building was built here in 1894, but still, the gem was still there when this building was built. And by the way, our building was built by Seth Bullock's wife and another person. His name was Starr. I can't think of his first name, but it's called the Bullock Clock Building, not Starr. It was built by Seth Bullock's wife and Starr. I can't think of his first name, whether it was Saul or not. But that's who built our building back in the day. I'm going to show you another room. As you can see, this all has to go. Nobody wants to see drop ceilings anymore, so we're going to take all this out. We've got a whole series of original doors to be put back on. We're going to go to another room. I'll show you guys. Same thing. Great view of across the street. And if I didn't say it, 1894, so this was all pre-electricity. So all the electricity is run on the outside of the walls. I hate to say it's pretty cool, but to have a building this old, still needs some work. We still need to do some stuff. But now we got to stop pulling up the floor, the tar paper. We got to get to what's underneath here so you can see what's underneath here. We want to bring it back, not restore it, but bring it back to the era where it was the 50s, 60s, maybe 70s, or even earlier if possible. Hopefully we can do this, have people come up and tell us what they think about this. Let's go back in, we're going to check out. You can see they actually made this, for whatever reason, the door had a bigger doorway at one time. You can see the trim, which would have actually been really nice. And there's a door buzzer to get buzzed in. So this might have been somebody important's room. which I just noticed. So they did all that just to add this closet for whatever reason. They had to add a little bit more to the closet. This room doesn't have a door, but we think it's room number 1. We'll show you because some of the other doors have numbers on them. Here, with the transom. So maybe this was the entrance to that door, to that room, and this just never had a door on it. We gotta do some more investigating. We're gonna start ripping some stuff apart to figure out what was original and what was added on. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple more rooms. Now this is definitely not a usable bathroom, but this would have been the customer bathroom. Obviously they did some work over the years. Tried to, whatever, can't even explain what that mess is. But you can see it's been remodeled. Looks like 70s, terrible job. It's the problem with old. Except that crawl space up in the attic looks original. This would be the customer bathroom for the toilet area. Maybe that was just a sink and a washroom. But you can see this would be the customer bathroom because I'm going to show you where the girls' bathroom is in a minute. But the crazy thing about this is if you look up above, so this drywall, we believe, we're going to take it down, is covering a sky vent to let light in. And the only reason we would think they would have that is because that let in the natural daylight. You're talking 1894, 1895. So it makes sense, even though it's crazy to have this kind of an ornate molding and gigantic exterior woodwork moldings. But there's no other reasoning for that. So this would be a girl's room. This is room number 3. Wallpaper is still actually in good condition considering, it can't be any newer than the 70s. It just can't be. But this is where a girl spent most of her time. Maybe a 12 by 10 room with 2 plugs. You can see there was a little mirror over here one time. Somebody had maybe a 4-foot mirror. Not sure why they would have a screen. Maybe for people to listen in. I can't say. We need to get somebody that used to be here or used to come up here back in the day to give us a little bit of information, even though everybody's getting older. So if anybody has any information, make sure you contact somebody on this. Any information about what's called the green door brothel, the pine rooms, or the arcade room. That's all the same building we're in. That's what it was called. Come on, let's check out another room. So this room definitely isn't as appealing. Very white. Definitely old school linoleum. I wish it was in better shape. You can see this flower right here. It's crazy to think that they spent most of the time when they went out. If anybody read any books on Deadwood, when the girls went out in town, they had to dress up really nice. They had to be on their best behavior. They had to be really good. They couldn't solicit business. The madam took them to the doctor, or the doctor came here. And this is room number 4. Ornate plate for the door handle, which is really in great shape once you clean off that cruddy paint. It's the good thing about trying to figure this out. We're going to take it apart carefully. Once again, God only knows why the rooms were broken into so many times. You're talking 100+ years of people breaking in. It's just crazy. It's a really weird room because this kind of looks like the Washington, Oregon coast. Not sure why it's there. Maybe to make the girl feel good. And then we got some original red velvet drapes, which are definitely period correct, I would imagine. And once again, this is the back half of the closet to the other side that they added in. This is another thing that has to go. The rest of the paneling has to go. The drop ceiling has to go. We got to get back a little bit correctly so we can save it. And this right here is room number 5. So here we are once again in the hallway. Chances are there's a skylight above us. Once we take some of this stuff down, we'll figure it out. Window to the door, window to the room we were just in. So this right here would be the girls' bathroom. It's in a process of somebody tearing it apart. God only knows when. Crazy thing about it was we think they added this because room number 7 would have been a girl's room, but somewhere along the lines, they added a bathroom. So it's hard to say if the first one was the only bathroom and then at what era they put this in, because the wallpaper definitely has an old feel. If you look at it, it's definitely not that new. The tub is obviously a newer tub style. If Nicole Curtis is watching this, call me. I'll have you come up and restore one of the rooms. So here we are, almost at the end. This would have been an exit door, and I'm going to show you in a minute where this would lead. We're going to look in the other room so you can see out the window. But here's room number 6. Once again, this is what's weird, is it's got the wide pine floors, and I'll show you the other room. But if you want to look, so originally our building would have ended right here in 1894. The back street is an alley, but technically it's called Broadway. And back in the day, a lot of businesses were on that street. There was a little shed out here where people lived. The parking garage was a horse corral. That whole street came down from Forest and Williams. So Williams is the first street where you see the first line of houses, and Forest is coming up to the second one. So if you were to walk about 100 feet to the left, there would have been a set of stairs, which is now in the parking garage, but back in the day, that led people down from Forest and Williams. And if you took a left, you came into the Badlands. That was where the Oyster Bay started, and we are in the middle of the Badlands where all the prostitution, gambling, gunfighting. So if anybody wants to read a good book, there's a book about Estelle Bennett. Her house that she grew up in is still on the top of the hill on Williams. I can't think of the name of the book right now, but it's Estelle Bennett house. Her father was the first judge in Deadwood, 1877, I believe, 1878. It's really cool. It's about her life growing up, talking about how many people. You got to think, Deadwood has 1,200 people here now. 1876 to 1886, you're talking 5,000 to 10,000 people between Deadwood and Lead. You're talking 5 times the population. It's impossible to think you could fit that many people in this town. It's just crazy, but they lived everywhere. The houses were small little sheds. There's still a couple of little homesteads out there that you can see when you go hiking. If anybody does any homework on our building, Google it, get on YouTube. The paranormal people were here prior to us buying the building. And they claimed that this room had more activity than any room in the upstairs. One person was pushed down the stairs and died. There's a lot of history, a lot of craziness if you think about what could have gone on in here in 100 and something years. So to have somebody say that there could possibly be paranormal activity certainly isn't far-fetched. When we look at this wallpaper, I mean, it's just so brittle. It's just crazy. It's called the Parlor. So if you came in through the back stairs, and I'll show you the other set of stairs here, this wall right here, come on in. So this wall right here is absolutely added on for whatever reason in the 70s, 80s, 60s, whenever they decided to do it. So this would have been one double room. You can enter or exit from the left or the right. So they would think that you would come here, sit down for a minute, chill. Maybe this was the curtain rod so the girls could come in and you could pick a girl for X amount of time or whatever whatever you were looking for. We got plenty of creepy. Well, we had, my wife came up here, we filmed 5 times, and 3 of the 5 times there was a blue orb. So here we are. 1970s carpet, obviously. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. It's like being at the Brady Bunch. So come on into this room. This one's got a cute little butterfly with no number. But this, we think, is quite possibly some of the oldest wallpaper we have. If you come close, I'm gonna see if you got good enough camera. Look at this, hand woven. You can see right through it. It's really cool. How it lasted this long, we don't know. You can see the layers of stuff that have come off. It looks like they probably glued paneling on, which is to the right and left. Somebody either knew this was here or they were looking for it. And it's super cool. So here we are, we got another room. These doors are a little bit more modern. Room number 11. For whatever reason, maybe they were just broken. If you look once again, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lock setups over the years. And definitely, this is the same wallpaper, just a different color that we saw in the other room. And this definitely, green shag carpet. So this is the door that would have led to the back alley where customers didn't want to be seen. I'm gonna pop this off, and if you wanna come take a close-up of this, you just see the time frame. You're talking square head bolts to bolt it on, and here we go. So this is where the customer would sneak out or sneak in if they didn't want it to be seen on Main Street. It's been a long time since I've been in there. There's been some bees nests and some other stuff. Let's see. Oh, all right, let's keep going. So this, hey, you can see a couple old bees nests. Oh, actually that one's, shit, that's got a lot of bees nests in it. So I'm not gonna keep going until I get some killer. But anyways, this would have been the way out to go to Broadway, which is the alley behind us, leading to Williams and Forest. But you can see, definitely original, nothing fake here. What's weird about this is this has an external door because the way the hinges are facing. But I'm assuming it was a closet the whole time. But then if you look over here, it actually has an ornate window that's been sealed up with plywood, which we'll take down to see if there's actually glass back there. And at one point it had a curtain rod. So was this connected to this room? Was this one room and they made a small closet out of it? Another thing we have to figure out, because you can see down here, they trimmed the 2x4 to go around the molding. So this wall behind me could have easily been an add-on also. You can see they cheaped out, they used cardboard and just painted it white. And then we're gonna go across the way to show you another room. Well, first of all, let me show you this. So everybody heard the rumors that Deadwood, you can go upstairs and go from building to building to building, which is all the prostitutes were. This is proof that it exists. This is our door. We screwed it closed when the person next door bought his building. This was the door. I'm certain that's the lock. I mean, that's the handle. So you could go from the green door brothel to another brothel to another brothel and not be seen outside. It's kind of weird being in here. It's like almost like being in a little mine, you know, with the wood holding up stuff and the way they cut it in so you can just go from building to building. Then here's another one. This is room number 9. Somebody left some sheetrock. Don't know what it's for. But once again, you can see wallpapered ceilings, wallpapered wall. And then over here, if you want to come a little closer, you might be able to see right here. And you can see that would have been the first layer of wallpaper. So you're talking 1890s. That would have been the first layer of wallpaper if somebody left that on. I don't see them adding that. But you can see this is on top of the green and the green is on top of that and so on and so on. But this we believe is the original. So this would have been the kitchen where the girls would have made food to eat or whatever, coffee. Obviously, definitely 70s vibe with the hexagon floor. And don't forget, I know it was prostitution, but these girls also donated a lot of money to charity. They did. That's why they kind of looked the other way. They would help kids out at Christmas. They would do a lot of good stuff if you look into it and you read it. Here you go, another transom. Glass is still there, but they painted over it. This would have been somebody's semi-importance room, whether it was Trixie or not. Used to obviously have what looks like a closet rod, maybe for curtains to separate it. But once again, here's the view onto Main Street. Whether or not the girls stood in the windows like we have our mannequins, we don't know. What other way could you do it other than the bump outs are original to 1894 on our bump out. Yep. So you got a nice view if you're a girl standing there. We have no plans for the public to come upstairs. We would like to do something for a charity. So our plan is possibly doing a tour and have all the money go to charity or a donation. This is something that should be seen. We don't care to hoard it. We don't care to make money off of it. This is something that Deadwood needs. And this is the history of Deadwood. Prostitution, I hate to say it. Gambling, prostitution, and drinking. But no, we don't know, so stay tuned. Hopefully 24 we can figure out if we can let people up here or not. But stay tuned, find out.